You can't truly be free from something until your mind is free. And this is where the enemy attacks us first, is in the mind. He wants to keep you from thinking that you'll never come out of this situation. He wants to keep you from thinking that you'll never be healed, that you'll never be happy, you'll never be married, you'll never have any money. But look at your neighbor and tell them that, neighbor, I'm not going by my situation, but I go by revelation. You see, the situation is the thing that keeps you slave to your past, but it is the revelation of God that leads me into my future. I thank God for the revelation knowledge of God. You look at your neighbor and tell you that, neighbor, there's more to me than what you see. I'm so glad that my situation doesn't dictate who I am. See, what Satan tries to do is he tries to put us through a series of situational difficulties that even when the situation is no longer there, even if you're not in the situation any longer, that it's still in your mind. See, this is why that you can come out of a relationship and every time that you smell that perfume and every time you hear that song that used to play, you remember that old loved one and used to go back in your mind and old thoughts come up in your remembrance. You see that sometimes you remember that high, you remember that taste, and it's still in your mind, but that's just your mind that's playing tricks on you. See, but what God does is that he ignores your circumstances and he treats your situation with the revelation of his word. And we must receive his word and let his word process in your mind. It's not nothing mysterious. It's not nothing mystical. It's called faith. See, God ignores your circumstance because he wants you in the middle of your circumstance to defy your situation and to stand on what he said. Anybody can trust God when you come out. Anybody can trust God when you got money in your pocket. But can you stand on his word and believe him and trust him that, oh God, I know I may not see myself coming out, but I know that I'm coming out. You've got to see yourself out before you actually come out. I heard Bishop George Bloomer say that if you don't see it before you see it, when it manifests, you won't recognize it. Many times we find ourselves in situations for so long that we lose hope and we just resign to the fact that it is what it is and there's nothing that we can do about it. But Hebrews 11:1 says, now faith is the substance of things hoped for and the evidence of things not seen. I may not see it right now, but it's coming to me. We must think about who God is. And we have to walk in faith in the fact that I am not my circumstance. I am not my past. I'm not even what you see before you right now. For we walk by faith and not by sight. And what Satan does is that he uses your failures to control your mind. And he wants to plant things in your mind so that when God comes, you'll have difficulty focusing on who God is and what he's doing right now, on the truth of the revelation of God, because the reality of where you have been, but I don't care what I've been, I don't care what I've done in my past, that I am who God says that I am. If God said that I'm coming out, then I'm coming out. I don't care what it looks like. Satan knows that if he can control your mind, then he can control your praise. And if he can control your praise, then he can control you. But look at your neighbor and tell him that my mind belongs to God.